I was part of a group of about 17 to 18 youth who formed an organization called the Anti-Collaboration Front in our township, a working class township called Noordgesig, just at the entrance to Soweto. The main aim of our organization at that stage was to fight the attempts of the apartheid regime to try and roll back the unity that had begun to develop under the banner of the Black Consciousness Movement. We came to the conclusion soon after our activism had begun in the early 70s that it would require an armed struggle to overthrow the apartheid regime, and began to make plans to do so. But events overtook us because, first of all, my younger brother was arrested in 1974 for having organized a protest against the celebration of what the apartheid regime called Republic Day to commemorate its decision to withdraw from the Commonwealth. He got arrested and convicted, but fortunately for him and for us, the conviction was separated from sentencing. And while he was awaiting the sentencing, we activated the plan for him to leave the country with a mandate to go and explore on our behalf which organization was best suited for us to obtain military training from, because it wasn't evident, self-evident to that generation of 1976 that it was the ANC. For, the following year, 5 of us got arrested as well in 1975. And we were detained in solitary confinement for from February until November. And then we were released on bail after the state believed that they had a case against us, which was to start the following year in 1976 in March, on the basis that they believed they had turned 2 of our comrades against us as state witnesses. So when we appeared in court in March of 1976, these comrades refused to give evidence, and they were sentenced to 12 months imprisonment. 3 of us were immediately rearrested and spent a further 2 months scattered this time between different police stations, unlike the first period of our detention, and released in May with 5-year banning orders, in terms of which we were placed under house arrest, had to report to the police station every day, could not leave our homes between the hours of 6 in the evening and 6 in the morning, and could not be in the company of more than 2 people at the same time. A month later, the Soweto uprising broke out. And it was clear that we were going to be the first target of arrest in our township. So we brought forward our plans to go for military training and left 4 days after the Soweto uprising of June 1976 had broken out. June 16, 1976 had broken out, and ended up in Botswana, where we reconnected with my younger brother. Personally, it was the fact that the social divisions in Botswana, that by the time that we arrived, had been independent for 10 years already, that made me realize that apart from the fact that the elite were black instead of white as in South Africa, the conditions of the working class and the peasants remained as it was before. And that clearly, if we were going to achieve our liberation, that liberation had to express itself in improved living standards, decent housing, decent education, decent health, and that merely struggling for majority rule and a black government would not automatically solve those problems. That set us on the path of recognizing that the real divisions in capitalist society was class. And that race was used as an instrument of divide and rule, not only in South Africa, but in other countries internationally. And therefore, we began our search for an organization that could apply the ideas of Marxism to the modern political world. So we engaged a number of international, and we came across the CWI through a comrade by the name of Tamsang Weizmann, who had himself been in exile long before us. He used to be part of the Society of Young Africans, which was, I think, considered itself Trotskyist. And he had also left the country earlier. His father was arrested for participating in the Pondoland uprising in the Transkei against the puppet system of chieftainship imposed by the regime at the time. And legend has it that he spent some time in Britain looking for an organization and was about to give up until he came across a comrade selling the militant newspaper on the streets of London. He immediately joined the organization, and it was agreed with the International that he should return to Southern Africa to come and recruit from the school of 1976 youth. And we met him in 1978, and he took us through all the ideas of the International. And by December of that year, we were persuaded. And for me, the CWI stood out from the other internationals, both in their attitude, in that whereas with the others they had demanded money from us and did not provide, more importantly, an understanding and analysis based on Marxism that clarified for us what the nature and tasks of the revolution in South Africa should be.